Before we brought our boat and we were saving money, it was hard to try and find the information that we needed on how much it would cost to buy a boat and do it up and get it to the point where you're going to be happy to go on the adventure that you want to do. So in this video, we're going to break down all the costs of how much it was for us to buy a boat, the maintenance to get the boat up to scratch and ready, and then also the safety equipment, which we hadn't even thought about before we brought a boat. And then the upgrades to get the boat to the world voyager that we wanted to do the adventures that we want to go on. So stay tuned till the end of the video and we'll talk about how we plan on financing this adventure.
We rob banks.
And how much money we have in our savings before we set sail and leave the UK.
Our boat was £7,000. We've actually done a couple of videos that you can watch just here, where we talk about the buying process, as well as tips and tricks that we learned along the way that may help you if you don't really know what you're doing, which was us a year and a half ago, and it still is us.
Once you have a boat, you need somewhere to keep it. This can be a boatyard, a mooring buoy, a marina, a harbour, but there's loads of different places. Even on rivers you can keep boats. All of them though have different services, different conditions and different access to the sea or any sailing grounds that you want to go to, and different costs. So when we first got Talisman, we was actually on the hard at a boatyard in the top of Southampton. This cost us £166 a month. The services at this place wasn't too great. As soon as we splashed in the water, we wanted to go somewhere a little bit nicer. So we knew that we'd be working for a little bit longer in Birmingham at this point, so it was a mutual decision that we thought, well, let's treat ourselves, and we were going to go into quite a nice marina. This marina was South Sea Premier Marina, and we would 100% recommend it, but the price of it was £4,000 for 12 months on a 28-foot boat, so it wasn't cheap. Which we actually paid £350 a month for 10 months, and you at the start you pay the first month and the last month up front. Also with Premier Marinas, we don't know how long this offer's going to stand up for, but they did a refer a friend thing where you can save some money, and we saved £300 having someone that we knew in the marina refer us when we moved there, which we were very grateful for.
So the next cost is boat insurance. So our boat insurance cost is £316, which allows us to cruise all the UK. When we set sail to the Med, which is very, very soon, this does go up. It's hard to say exactly how much it's going to be because basically it's worked out in increments. So we add on each place that we're going to be cruising because it works out cheaper that way. But it shouldn't cost any more than £450, we believe.
That's what we've been told-ish.
Yes. So next up we're going to talk about the maintenance cost, which will of course vary wildly.
So antifouling on Talisman would cost about £100. This would include a tin of antifoul, we use Tiger Extra, and some primer for when we just need to touch up little bits.
And you can see that whole process if you're interested of antifouling and painting and whatnot in this video here, which we've just done, so yep, check that out.
Done this twice since owning the boat, so once when we first got it, and then once this year for hopefully what is going to be the next 2 years. We're hoping that it will last us. So our rigging was actually in quite good condition when we got Talisman. We actually only replaced our forestay, which cost £350, and we had it done by Racetech Rigging. Before we knew this though, we had to get a rig inspection, and when we had the rig inspection done, we also replaced some halyards, and the total of this was £250. So for the rigging, some halyards and a rig inspection, it was like £600-ish. To lift and launch Talisman when we were at Premier Marina, we also got it washed in the middle at the same time. That would cost £425, and again this will vary from marina to marina. Also, when Talisman first went in the water after we'd used her a little bit, decided to get the engine professionally serviced, and we also had the engine mounts changed. And we had all this done by a Beta Marine engineer, because our engine's Beta Marine. And this total came to about £750, but going forward we'll be doing all the maintenance ourselves, so we'll only be buying parts, and a service kit for our engine is about £90. Another thing that we did when we first got Talisman is we actually replaced all the plumbing. Now on a small boat like this there isn't much plumbing, so this total came to about £50 including fixtures and fittings. And last but not least, we also checked over the electronics and I replaced some of the old wiring which was starting to corrode. And again, this wasn't too expensive, but it was probably about £50-ish in parts and some certain little connectors and things like that, and just consumables. So this pretty much sums up how much it was for us to get the boat ready and all the maintenance that was included for the last year and a half. Next, we're going to talk about boat safety and the costs that we didn't see that we were going to have to spend, really.
So, here's a list of all the safety equipment on board Talisman and how much it all cost.
Carbon monoxide alarms were £25.
Fell weather gear was £150 from eBay.
Ocean Standard 4V life raft was £690.
Ocean Signal PLBs, 2 of them, £220 each.
Standard Horizon handheld VHF was £100.
ACR EPIRB, £200, which was used but not used.
Safety lines for life jackets were £25.
2 standard 165 Newton life jackets for visitors and guests, which was £120.
Jade's Crew Fit 180 Pro life jacket was £100.
Brin's Legend 305 Newtons SLA life jacket was £130.
Ditch bag that we found on eBay was £15.
Handheld compass was £53.
And the rest of the stuff on board already came with the boat, such as our man overboard sling and some other buoyancy aids.
So that wraps up the safety equipment, and now we're going to talk about upgrades.
The biggest cost out of all the upgrades that we actually did to Talisman was a navigation electronics upgrade. We actually put in a whole new B&G package which included a chart plotter, radar, wind, depth, speed and a GPS compass, which all came to £4,300, including some extra wiring and little bits.
Ouch.
And if you want to see some more detail on that kind of package that we got, there is actually a video we already did which is going to be here. So another upgrade that was important to us was having solar and enough energy that we'd be able to be off grid for a week or 2 weeks if we needed, without having to turn the engine on. This included Renogy 200 watt solar panel kit, which was £260, Victron battery monitor, which was the BMV 712, which was £180, Victron solar charger controller, which was £220, the solar rail mounts, which were £194, and I swear we tried to do this cheaper. 2 200 amp hour AGM 12 volt batteries, which was £519 including shipping, and all the miscellaneous cables and fittings I would say come to about £100. This total came to £1,473. That was quite a lot.
That burnt a hole.
Definitely did. When we were doing this upgrade, it was important to us to have stuff that we trusted and was robust, so that's why we probably spent a little bit more on upgrading this area of the boat, because we knew that we wanted to be able to be off grid. The first upgrade that we actually did on Talisman was a diesel heater, and this cost £100. Now we did upgrade some of the parts, and we had to get a skin fitting. So for these little parts and the skin fitting, I think we spent about an extra £100. So the total for the diesel heater was £200.
So another upgrade that we thought was really important was anchor chain and a new anchor. So we actually, the previous owner gave us 30 metres of chain with the boat, and we upgraded this to 50 metres of chain. So the new anchor chain cost £300, and then we also wanted to upgrade our anchor. So we got a 10 kilogram rocknet anchor, and this also cost £300. So a recent upgrade we also got is a new heavy weather head sail, and this cost £750. And then we also upgraded our dinghy, and this cost £300. We also brought a new outboard, which was £590. And the grand total of those upgrades is...
Bing, 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 bing. And again, like, I suppose it's the compromise of buying a cheap boat to make all these upgrades so that we have a cheap boat that is capable of doing the sort of journeys that we want to do, rather than buying a bigger boat but then compromising on these electronics that are genuinely going to basically supplement our lack of experience. Yeah, we're not relying on the electronics, we're using it as a tool, and that's what it's meant to be used for, as a tool, not to be your sat nav. But we plan multiple routes on it and we look at all different information, so we're really happy with those upgrades. I'm actually going to do a video where I'm going to do a little tour and just go around highlighting and explaining a little bit more detail about these upgrades. So if you're interested, hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit like, and hang fire, we'll be doing that video shortly.
Let's talk about money. So So we'll keep this short and sweet. Basically, we saved enough money for 1 year of travel, which was £4,000, and a lot of you will be like, that's not 1 year of travel. But we do plan on being very, very budget conscious. And hopefully we can pick some money up as we travel as well. In terms of financing our trip, if we can't earn any money as we're travelling, we'll come back to Birmingham or back to England for the winter and just work over the winter months basically. I have a couple of freelance jobs that require zero experience and they're very low pay, but they're good to supplement you know, they're good to supplement our travels and things like, you know, your grocery shopping and things like that. I will actually include, I've already written a blog and I'll include it in the description, and it lists all of the companies that I have done or do freelance work for. But yeah, it's very hard to say how much I earn from that, because we've had weeks where I earn nothing, and then we've had weeks when I've earned minimum wage, and then we've had weeks when I've earned like an alright amount. So it's really, really hard to say what we earn from that. But at the minute, I think we're pretty much only covering our groceries, to be honest.
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah, like we're only covering our groceries. The internet's been terrible in this marina that we're in, and so yeah, Bryn's quit his job, I forgot to mention. So Bryn doesn't work now. He's quit his job.
Semi-retired.
Semi-retired. I've been working freelance for about basically 2 years, and I had a contract that was 20 hours a week, and basically that contract actually ended just before we got on the boat. So I didn't quit my job, but equally my stable income went.
On top of that, we were very fortunate that when we started this channel that we were able to monetize and put adverts on these videos, and we know that these adverts are annoying.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We are sorry, but it is an extra way in which we're able to, you know, an extra few pennies. Yeah. And I'll tell you exactly roughly how much we make at the minute. So YouTube is paying us between £25 and £45 a month, and that's based on us and starting this new YouTube channel. So yeah, we could update this in a year's time and we'll see if it's grown.
We also make a little extra money on Buy Me a Coffee, and this is basically a supporter page where if you enjoy our videos you can treat us to a coffee or two, and this is really, really appreciated, and there's already some very generous people that have given us a little money on here. So thank you so much to everyone that has done this or would consider doing this. It really, really helps, especially with us uploading videos and using people's internet and cafes. So thanks again.
We think that we are definitely budget cruisers. We seem to be on the lower end of a lot of people that we've met, and we essentially, our outgoings, what we plan for each month, is between £200 and £300 a month. Yeah. Obviously that varies wildly, some months are less, some months are more if you're paying for marinas and things like that, but we're planning to live on anchor as much as possible as soon as we leave this marina that we're in now. So hopefully our costs will stay quite low. So if there's anyone you can think of or yourself might be interested in this kind of way of life but don't think they can afford it, hopefully this shows you that you can. Yeah. And it's not always easy, and it is a bit harder when you obviously don't have all the money in the world, but it's definitely doable, and you'll still share the same water with everybody. Yeah, we really hope this was useful to you. That's pretty much all we can think of to tell you about the finances, but if there is anything else that you want to know or any more questions, just let us know in the comments, ask away.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Check it out.
Checking it out.
Oh.
Oh. Great.
Well, that's just rude.
Pick it up. 5 second rule.
No 5 second rule.
Pick it up. Pick the grape up.
You pick it up.
Floor grape. Floor grape. That's gross. Right.
We scoured the internet for. This is so hard. Maintenance costume.
Oh, that was such a mess. That was such a mess.